Unbox, we're here in Sinulog in Cebu, 2016. Just like we promised, we're going to be giving you test shots from the ASUS Zenfone Zoom. Now right now we have the Zenfone Zoom in a cinema mount rig. This is only to allow it so we can hold it better, we can actually frame shots better. The lens is down, so we're actually using the lens of the Zenfone Zoom. We'll be giving you video shot from the Zenfone Zoom as well as photos using the 3x optical zoom right after this. So join us as we take the Zenfone Zoom in Sinulog 2016. So we just came in from the shade. We were shooting a few minutes ago outside in Sinulog, as you saw. Just a little explanation of the rig we use, because some people might actually say that we're cheating. We're not. We are actually just using the cinema mount. This is our awesome cameraman's mount for just phones, if you want to use them with accessories or tripods or whatever. It does come with a wide-angle lens, which we actually moved down. So we're only shooting with the Zenfone, the Zoom's lens. That's all we're actually using. Shooting impression. It really does feel like a point and shoot. The entire phone has been styled as a point and shoot. The manual button here, the manual shutter button on the right side, is a two-stage. Light press for it to focus, then you press all the way down just to shoot it. Pressing either will actually launch the camera app so you can start shooting. We had a little bit of trouble with this. Earlier, we experienced soft lights or soft focus. Apparently, it's down to the firmware. Once we actually updated it, it was fine. So a few things with the new firmware, we found that you can just launch the manual mode. There's a button here. Yes, it has a manual mode. You can change white balance, exposure compensation, ISO, shutter speed, which we actually like. As far as shutter speed goes, you can go as high as 1/16,000 or as low as 32 seconds. So you can really do a lot of neat long exposure. The problem there is if you're doing long exposures of streets, anything that you want light trails in, is I drop the ISO and I drop the exposure value down. The lowest ISO that you can go is 50 for the zoom. The highest is 3200. While we were actually trying to do long exposures, we dropped the ISO. We wanted to drop the exposure compensation as well, but the thing is, once you fiddle with exposure compensation, the ISO just goes back to auto. So you can't actually move them independent of each other, which is going to be a problem. we managed to get a good shot of long exposures in the street using this. It's not the best, but it's more than most phones are capable of. Sunlight legibility is going to be an issue, especially if you're using it as primarily as a camera or as a recording device. Couldn't really see if the shot was completely in frame. Bright sunlight had issues. I couldn't really see if it was completely in focus or if the white balance was okay, or all of those things. So I just had to trust the camera to actually take a good shot. And for the most part, it was actually taking good shots. Is the image quality as good as more expensive cameras? For example, Samsung Galaxy S6, Xperia Z5? Not really. Panasonic is a camera manufacturer, but it's not as good as Sony as far as the sensors in cameras are concerned. If you're going to pit it against another flagship phone, which does have a good camera experience, kind of like the Note 5, for example, I'm going to pick the Note 5. That being said, the Note 5 doesn't have a 3x optical zoom capability, so it's really awesome. You're not going to be using it a lot. The 3x optical zoom, you can probably get away with most of your 90% of your shots are not going to be using that zoom. But when you do need the zoom, it's nice to have it. You can actually just shoot in, zoom in, and since you're using an optical lens to do it, you're not losing a lot of quality in the photos. So that's another thing that this thing has over the other devices. A lot of people are saying this is too expensive for an ASUS device. Yeah, the only thing is you're probably all used to the Zenfone series having price to performance ratio, and we have to consider that those phones are completely made out of plastic. If you hold this phone, if you actually start using the phone, it feels heavy, it feels hefty. It really does feel like a premium flagship, which is essentially what I'd call the first premium flagship of ASUS. It's 128 gig of RAM. So we've been shooting the entire day in Cebu and Sinulog, during Sinulog. We haven't had to delete any photos yet, any videos yet. So it's actually pretty good enough. It's actually rather good. That's it, basically. That's our shooting impressions of Zenfone Zoom. Please like, subscribe. We actually did another hands-on of the device. We're gonna link that down below if you want to take a look at that. We're gonna be finishing up a review of this particular phone probably in the next 2 weeks. Try to do a video review of that as well. Like our Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, ask us any questions that you want. So thanks very much, Unbox. Peace out.